was in my 40s and I was like, you know what? I'm going to do it. Back in the day when people were asking questions about it, everybody was so, oh my God, tell me everything about Charlie Hunnam. So when they have to do these scenes, he puts his junk in a bag.
In a bag?
It's in a nude colored bag that has a drawstring. So he can tie his balls up.
Well, that's probably a good thing. We don't need his balls hanging low to the flow.
It's Sofia Franklyn. You are listening to Sofia with an F, and the F is for phenomenal.
I am with Drea de Matteo. You guys might know her as Adriana Cerva from one of the most, I would say arguably the biggest show to ever air on television, The Sopranos, to this day, which is insane. And you were, I would say, the leading actress coming out of that show. You were my favorite actress. You're also like a fashion icon.
Yeah, look at me today.
You look amazing with the checkered Vans. I tried my best to channel my inner Adriana Cerva, and I couldn't find any animal print. Like I couldn't find any cheetah print. I feel like that was kind of like the staple.
You're a little acidy wash thing. It's not too acid wash, but you have a vibe. There's a little bit of acid wash.
And the hoop.
You got your hoops.
And the dark brown lip liner.
Yes.
Would you do dark brown lip liner, or am I making that shit up?
Well, you have that really beautiful olive skin, so mine was like a little more on the, it's like still like this color actually.
Would stand out more, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, but yes, it's good. You put a little foundation on the inside. And it's like very Boricua too, like chola.
I mean, I kind of am. Like I'm fully Spanish.
Are you?
Well, I guess these days you're supposed to call it Latinx, Latinx.
Oh,
but no, you don't pronounce it. No, that. I swear to God,
woke ass shit.
I'm so over it. I will say Latina when I feel like it, and I will say Spanish when I feel like it. My dad's from Spain, my mom's from Argentina.
Oh wow!
So I'm not doing the whole whatever Latin.
I love that you're all those things.
Thank you. Also Italian.
Wow.
Also
really?
grandpa from Italy. Which
okay.
You're Italian. You grew up in Queens. Is there anything that we don't know about your time on The Sopranos?
I don't know. I've always been super quiet. I've only been sort of out there doing press in the last year of my life.
Why is that?
Well, that's a whole other story.
Yeah.
I'm like one of the last real hippies out there. So I just during the pandemic, I just bowed out of any meds.
Right.
I was like, I think I can do this with like herbs and garlic and other weird shit. But then I couldn't act anymore, and I lost a lot of things based on that. So
really,
that would be the vaccine mandate. It was over that. So I went to other I don't really love being like. I mean, I know I was on the best show ever, but after that, I was kind of done. I went from job to job just to take care of my family and my world, but I never really cared about being an actor.
But I think that's such an incredible thing. Because this is what I've thought. Because I put myself in your shoes a few times.
In these? In these filthy vans?
But are we low-key wearing like the same shit, kinda? The same kind of shoe now?
I used to wear Pumas when I was your age.
Babe.
Now I need these for my bunions.
I have bunions already.
No.
I don't know.
Because you wear high heels probably.
Yeah, and I don't know what you can get surgery for that, right?
Don't do that. You don't need to. You can fix everything with your hands.
Do it naturally.
I'll do it right here on the show.
Should I take my shoes off? No, but I think if I were part of the biggest show to ever exist, and you were on that show for years and years and years, I think it's incredible that you were like, I want to take a break or just straight up be done. What seems scary to me is people who are part of something so big and then they try to hold on to that forever, right?
Yeah, I think if your identity is tied up in being a celebrity, that's a big thing in my industry. Like people are really, they love their stature and their place in that society. I could give a fuck about it. I do care about the kind of mom I am, the kind of friend I am. I don't care about that industry. Look at it right now.
Right.
Would you want to be a part of that industry right now?
I mean, I'm part of the industry, not anywhere near your caliber or your level, but I'm in the entertainment industry.
Yeah, no, but you guys are like trailblazers right now. Are you guys doing all these shows and stuff?
Yes, but everyone in this industry, it's all about your follower count and,
Yes, that's true.
you know, so it's similar in that way.
But it's yours. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to be at the mercy of other people, of other actors. And you know, also a lot of actors, I think when we start out, and not every actor, but a lot of us, we're not like totally hyped on us. We like to be other people.
Yeah.
So once you know, and you guys are building this thing out, being yourselves.
Yes.
And that's a beautiful thing. And that builds a lot of confidence. You know what I mean?
It's a beautiful thing. It's also a really bad thing. And I'll tell you why.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Because my self-worth is so tied up in... Because you're right. I'm not playing a character. I'm being me. And so when people rip it apart, it's a direct reflection on who I am as a person. And to be honest, we're very similar in the sense of I didn't grow up wanting to be celebrity. I didn't want to work in a cubicle, which is what I was doing.
Right. And
I got an incredible opportunity to start a podcast, and then kind of the celebrity came with that, you know?
Yeah.
But that's never been my thing. But I don't know. It's difficult. Enough about me, though.
No, but wait a second. This whole rejection thing, though, that's a huge thing. And it's happening today all across the board. And I remember I had a podcast years ago with my partner, and she wasn't really in the industry the way I was. She was just sort of in it by default between her husband and myself. And whenever things wouldn't go our way, or whenever people would turn us down or insult us or say anything bad, she would lose her shit.
Right.
And I'd be like, who cares, man? Because I made a living out of getting rejected. So you kind of build this sort of tough skin, but it did hurt when people would start like I had all my exes would read comments about everything. Comments. Like, the fuck are you doing reading comments?
Can we talk about that?
Yeah, don't read comments.
Don't look into my work at all. Right?
No, don't read comments.
Don't read my comments.
None of these girls should read comments. I never look at what anyone is saying about me. I don't give a f. And now that I'm 150, I really don't give a
The drama coming from Drea right now, 150, and she literally looks 30. Please, baby girl.
I have a really bad Botox right now.
But
it's so bad. I haven't had it in so long.
Wait, why?
Because my eyebrows are going down and they're pushing down on my eyelids.
But I thought Botox was supposed to lift those shits up.
Not when you're 100.
Oh my God.
They're trying to keep the wrinkles down, and then they push your eyes up. I'm just like,
by the way,
I need to get a brow lift.
If you are not subscribed to my YouTube channel, Sofia with an F, you absolutely need to, because you're making yourself sound. She is so hot and looks like you look like you're in your 30s. Please.
Thanks, babe.
But let's talk about your ex's reading comments, because I'm single right now.
Okay.
And I keep having these dudes say, please, if there's one thing I can ask, do not talk about me on your show. And then I have this crazy thing happen because I'll talk about my life, right, in my podcast. And then I'll have this thing happen where they'll say, hey, I heard like maybe you made a comment about me on the show. And then it's like they want me to talk about them on the show. Mm-hmm. And I can't, I don't know how to go about it with these men.
Are they famous?
No, I don't date. I'm not into famous guys.
Do they think they're famous? Like, do they think that they're in the scene?
No.
You know what I mean?
No. I would never date a guy like that.
So none of them have anything to do. So they want to.
They have jobs.
They want to maintain their anonymity. Maybe.
Yeah. Yes and no. Yes and no. Let me talk about the guy right now in particular.
That you're dating, or the one that you just broke up with somebody?
Well, I broke up with someone who was like a huge contention point for us, was that I wouldn't post him and like publicly claim him.
Oh.
Which I kind of get, right? Like I was keeping him a secret.
Some want you to mention them and some don't want you to mention them.
Exactly.
So now you're confused all the time.
So now I'm confused. And then I'm like, to what degree can I mention them? Because I'm going to talk about my life.
Right.
And if you're a huge part of my life, I don't need to disclose your name and, post pictures, but I'm going to talk about a fight we had or like the sex we had. Right.
And then they feel like they're being exposed and they're living on blast.
Using them kind of. It's just all messed up. But one guy in particular that I'm kind of talking to very loosely. And if he hears this, I'm going to actually die because we've literally gone on 2 dates. So that's embarrassing. But he said in his industry, like for him to date any kind of celebrity, quote unquote, not really a good look. And so he doesn't know how we'll deal with that down the road. And I didn't know if that was something that I should just be like, okay, I totally understand that. And we'll cross that path when we get there. Or if I should have been like, oh, well, it's my job. Bye.
What is his industry?
He works like equity, private equity.
And why are you not allowed to date somebody who's known?
Because I'm a little bit, is a little bit out there. I mean, I talk about crazy.
You got to date a crazy.
Okay. That's it. That's what I got to.
Yeah, you can't date somebody you can't date a scaredy cat.
But I think that's good for me because it balances me out. But you know what? We're not even talking about me. We're talking about you, and I'm interviewing.
No, I want to be here today
to guide me,
to guide you. That's my favorite thing in life.
It is.
Yes, that's why I don't care about acting. I'd rather go somewhere and be myself and talk to somebody and take care of people and help people. I don't want to sit there and indulge myself in some character anymore. I did it already.
Okay, well then let's talk about me.
Let's talk about you, girl. Come on now.
Would I fit in on The Sopranos?
Totally.
I would.
You could have been my little sister.
Okay.
Now that I know that you're Spanish and Italian and all these things, I thought you were like a nice American Jewish girl in New York City.
There is a little bit of Judaism, like 30%, I think, something like that.
Though. Italians and the Jews, we're the same.
You know what? I've heard that, and I agree.
Yeah,
a lot of similarities.
Where are you from? Are you from here?
I'm from Utah, baby girl.
So Mormon?
That's the first question I always get asked. Here's the crazy thing: my grandma, Jewish, converted to Mormonism, which is unheard of. Like that doesn't happen. And then my mom was like, I don't really like the Mormon culture in Utah because it's very cliquey and just there's not a lot of great things about it. So she was like, I'm a throw you into private Catholic school.
Oh.
So it's
confusing.
It's confusing. I feel guilty all the time for everything, but not really. And I think that's probably why I was
for everything?
Well, so maybe
like for everything
like
that you
sex
mean,
with everything, not that, but they're
like for everything. Like
did I just say? Oh yeah.
I'm old.
For everything.
Okay, I gotcha.
But I mean, those could be like two in the same. There's definitely some shame surrounding sex a little bit, not that much anymore. Now I'm grown. Now I'm like, whatever.
You were what part of Utah? I love Utah, by the way.
You do? You've been there?
Oh my! Well, we used to go there for Sundance all the time.
Oh,
but forget about that. I'm more into it lately. I've been taking my children, and we live in California. It's an 8-hour drive to Zion.
Okay,
and Moab and Kanab and all. Oh my God, I love it there.
Do you like Zion or Moab more?
I think that if I were going to camp out with a trailer, because there's no tents for this old bitch, but with a nice big deluxe trailer where I can cook a steak.
Okay, rich.
But I would go for Moab.
Okay.
But to hike every time, because I have old lady knees, whenever I hike at Zion, I'm healed.
Did you always have old lady knees? Because I have those right now.
No, it just started.
Like mine hurt right now.
Really? That's because of all the in our foods and inflammation.
Right. And also it probably doesn't help that I sit legit like on my knees, or I will cross my legs like this for hours at a time. Yeah, and just being a cheerleader.
You gotta sit like me, like a dude.
I
be a dude.
This is. I'm sorry. Can we just get a little picture of this right?
Grandpa. Wait, you know what? It's not Grandma Dre. It's Grandpa Dre. Grandpa Dre is here today.
Grandpa Dre.
Grandpa Dre.
I'm here with Dr. Dre, you guys.
Yes.
Okay, we're gonna totally move on from the Sopranos, but I think a lot of people are under the impression, especially people in Utah, that the Mafia days are done. They're over. What would you say to that?
I think the Mafia, the way we know it, will make a comeback in the way society is right now, because society's so up and lawless that I actually think that we're going to have vigilantes popping up, and they might actually not be total bad guys, but the bad guy. And listen, the truth is, and I think a lot of people in Utah would agree with me, is that the Mafia is alive and well in Rome, in the big families, and in our government.
Well, also just straight up in New York, like there is Mafia activity.
Is there? I don't know, because I remember even when we did The Sopranos, it was a lot of the Mafia is dead kind of things, like the way it used to once rule. But there's always underground societies, right?
I definitely don't think it runs anywhere near to the extent that it did, obviously. But I wonder if I can even say this. I guess we could cut it out. You know what? I'm just gonna say it. So I'm very close to someone who works in government housing, HUD. Okay. And they get contracts, and they got a contract in New York. And her friend told her, just be ready. You're gonna have to pay a certain percentage every month to the Mafia. I don't know for what exactly. I don't know like the details, but it was it was a real thing. And I've heard other things. I mean, it's underground.
So the Italian Mafia?
Yeah. You know what? I don't know if she clarified. I should clarify that.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. The city's about to go through a real weird time. So is California. The two bookends of America. They're going to squeeze them until the whole country starts to implode.
Okay, well, you're scaring me. I know. What do I need to get, like a bunker?
I think you should just be careful and keep your head on a swivel in New York City, and you should have a knife, and you should, be cautious.
I'm glad you're telling me that, because just if you had to take a wild guess, do you think I'm like very vigilant when I'm walking around New York?
No, I'm walking around on my fucking phone, but I have somebody behind me making sure I'm safe.
Oh, really?
Yes.
You have like security?
No, it's my boyfriend.
Oh, I'm like... And the fact that you have him walk behind you is fucking incredible.
He's always behind me. He's like, really? Someone's going to take that knife out of your fucking back pocket and stab you with it, Dre, because I always have a knife on me everywhere I go.
So right now?
Right now.
Damn, girl. Right now. Damn, girl.
I don't even know if I'm allowed. See?
Okay. Is that like military grade shit?
I don't know.
We don't need to get
I don't know. This is a Drea de Matteo grade shit. This is Ultrafree grade shit.
Ultrafree grade. Okay. I love that shit. We will get into that, but the shit about your boyfriend.
Adriana's not getting taken down again.
No.
Robbie, my boyfriend Robbie, he's a drummer, and he was a drummer in a really big band, and it was his band, and he quit it. And now he's in another, he started another band. But he literally walks around like in fatigues. Like he has an army vest on. He wears an army vest that usually has mags in it, like for guns and
every day?
Lately, because he doesn't want to carry like a Merce around with him. So he's walking around New York City. I'm like, are you going to wear that fucking vest? Where are you going right now?
So you guys are just like patrolling the streets of New York, just fucking ready to go.
Listen.
You know what's funny about that though, is women complain when men walk in front of them. You've heard that.
No.
Like it's rude.
Yeah, it's annoying.
It's annoying. Rude if a guy just walks in front of you.
Because they walk faster. It's like, fucking wait for me, motherfucker.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But now they should be walking behind.
Yes.
We're making that a thing.
Yeah.
I don't want to hold your hand. I want
your ass too.
And that is my best asset, straight up.
Me too. And well, not right now in these diapers I'm wearing.
Can we talk about your sex scenes with Charlie Hunnam on Sons of Anarchy?
Oh my goodness, I thought you'd never ask.
Like I need to know.
They asked me to do nudity for the first time. I know that I'm always out there with my fucking underwear on, but I had never done real nudity. So I was
incredible body, by the way.
42. I don't remember. I was in my 40s, and I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to do it. And what is real nudity on FX? It's not even really nudity. But I know all the girls like to know this about, but this is an old show now. But back in the day when people were asking questions about it, everybody was so like, oh my God, tell me everything about Charlie Hunnam. So when they have to do these scenes, he puts his junk in a bag.
In a bag?
It's in a nude colored bag.
Okay,
that
so it's
has
not like a
drawstring.
Oh, so he can drawstring like
so
his
he can
ball
tie
sack
his
up.
balls up.
Well, that's probably a good thing. We don't need his balls hanging low to the flow.
Well, because they always shoot him from the back to see the tattoo and his ass grinding. That's like the whole Sons of Anarchy vibe.
Right.
So I guess you would have seen his balls. So they had the balls. They have the balls brought up here, and
okay.
And then I had nipple covers and like a little cover for my
like a vagina sticker.
Yes.
They like have
which
those.
I was like, no. I'm not wearing that.
I think I'm going to start buying those off Amazon to wear with like dresses and skirts that I cannot wear underwear with.
Yeah.
You're like, bitch, just wear the underwear, please.
I've worn dresses like that, so I'm trying to think if I.
Do you wear underwear?
I do.
Okay.
I do, but I'll get like a nude Cosabella. You know, the ones that have the strings like this.
Right.
But there's other things. Yeah, you can. Yeah, the sticker is the thing.
But,
do the sticker.
So, okay. But during the scene.
You got to shave your bush for that.
Well, trust me.
I mean, completely.
Trust me. But I wish the bush would come back. I really do.
I was never one of those, like.
To just take it all off.
No.
I think a happy trail, is that what it's called?
Yeah, you gotta have something. Gotta have something.
Thank you.
I don't like a naked bush.
Completely.
I don't like it.
Like
if I were fucking around with a girl, I'd be like,
right?
That's okay. I didn't ask for a 12-year-old.
Thank you.
You know?
It's like it's
and actually 12-year-olds are
exactly, but they want his bald everywhere. Like they don't want hair anywhere. It's like fuck off.
I have hairy pits. Everything. You gotta. I wouldn't be interested.
Hippie.
Yeah, I wouldn't be interested in a guy who is like, ew, I can't stand that she's got hair under her arms. Be like, fuck you. You're not my type of guy anyway. You need to have hair under your arms and hair on your balls for me to dig you. Don't manscape.
You know what? I agree with that shit.
I hate
what about a hairy back? You're like that. You're like, that's got to go though. Hairy balls are fine. Hairy back, no.
If the guy was so great and he had a hairy back,
then that's fine.
Then I'd be like, all right, we're gonna handle this. We're gonna take care of it, and we're gonna permanently get rid of it. You're not gonna wax. We're gonna fucking laser that shit off, buddy.
Yeah. But we're not lasering your balls.
No, we're not.
No, we're not lasering.
Keep the ball hair.
Yes, keep the ball hair.
So I know you're a man.
So he would use a drawstring.
Yes. And then I was ready. They put me in like a white negligee. They're like, you're going to wear this. And I was like, okay. I'm all self-tanned, worked out. Some people, like when I did a Shades of Blue sex scene, I'm jumping around.
That's fine.
The guy didn't eat. My buddy Vinny, who I love so much, he didn't eat for like days.
To look good for the scene.
Yes. And I was like, motherfucker, let's go get fried chicken right now. Because it was after the scene. I was like, aren't you? I'm fucking starving. But Charlie too, like they took those scenes seriously. You know who doesn't take those scenes seriously?
You?
This fucking guy. I'm like, we'll figure it out when we get there,
So they would be like, hey, we want you to be like kind of this certain way. And you were like, cool.
I did it. I was like, fuck it. I'm going to do nudity for the first and last time. It's the last time I'll ever have an opportunity to take my clothes off like that. I'm getting old. So I was like, fuck it. I'll do it. And it's for, the end of Sons of Anarchy. It's my celebratory moment. And then they didn't really have me naked.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, Charlie was like, so I thought that I can't do his accent. He's like, so this is how I want to do the scene. He didn't say, this is how I want to fuck you, even though that would have sounded so cool. He's like, this is how I want to do the scene. And he chose how he wanted to play that scene. So you see how it is on the, it's set.
So that's how he wanted it to go down.
Yes.
Could you tell if he had a big dick or no?
I couldn't, but he's so hot.
He's so
as
hot.
Jax. I love him as Charlie too. I love Charlie.
Right.
But there was something about him being that character.
So sexy.
Yeah, I couldn't tell if it was me being Wendy and I was just like, oh, I fucking think you're hot, even though you don't like me anymore and you like Tara. But it's like Tara. But I don't know, because then in regular life, when I be with him, I didn't think about him like that ever.
Right.
But the minute I stepped on that set and he had the rocker on, the gang vest, I was like,
Hi, let's play this off camera. This
gorgeous.
sex scene.
And he's also just a good guy.
Yeah,
like Tony's, like he's like James Gandolfini. Like they were just good guys.
Yeah,
you know,
James Gandolfini. They did like a profile on him, and you did not like it very much.
That's all over the news today.
Oh, today it is?
I think so.
Because what? Because you think they portrayed him kind of as like this beast type of guy?
Yeah, I mean, they did a documentary on David Chase. And it's David Chase's story and his life. And all of that was great. And it's an amazing filmmaker, this guy, Alex Gibney. He did the one on Scientology. He's a really great filmmaker. So I'm not condemning any of the artistic people involved. But you know what? Maybe they can take a little, maybe there can be some accountability there. I blame HBO. And maybe because I feel like I have nothing left to lose in that area because I'm probably never going back to that world.
I don't love HBO. I have my own shit with HBO, so don't worry about that.
You do?
Yeah, but we'll talk about that at a later time. But keep going.
Okay, I don't want to fuck you over here.
No.
Badmouth HBO because I'm like, fuck them right now.
No, fuck them. Keep going.
I felt like they took the character that made them millions of dollars. I mean, it was David Chase too, obviously. It was David's show. But Tony Soprano took that show to a certain level because of the character they chose to play it. James Gandolfini, instead of picking, I don't know, some slick, a hot-looking Italian guy, that would have been a different show and generated a different vibe, like completely. They used his character and his real-life character that he brought to that character and kind of flattened him out to be this one-dimensional person. And that wasn't who he was, and it definitely wasn't who he was when he died. So to kind of tell this really basic story about who he was really unfair.
Yeah.
I felt it was gratuitous. I felt like it was a way for them to make more money, sensationalize him. And they had an opportunity to write him a love song.
Right.
In that moment. And instead, they chose all of the weird gossip that other people used to make money, like the locations manager, who none of us really even knew, went and wrote a book about certain low points in Jim's life. I mean, if you want to talk about my low points in my life, I could make fucking head spin way faster than James Gandolfini.
Yeah.
But he's not here to tell the story and
Yeah.
explain why and where and how. And it was so much more than they actually they portrayed. And he was the real person was this incredible fucking guy.
Right.
You know, I wasn't that tight with him, but other people were, and I know the stories, and I spent enough time with him to know that he was a fucking great dude. Those moments were moments in time, and the liberties that they took to try to control him.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like. It feels like media propaganda, media control, all of the things that Jim fought against while he was on the show and all the stuff he'd fight against today is exactly what they did to him. And those were the reasons why he was mad back then and why he'd be mad today.
And what were the reasons what was he fighting for that they were trying to shut down, would you say?
It was continuous control. You know, they owned him. And he was like, I don't think you guys understand. If I walk away, there's no fucking show. So when someone has that much power, then everybody around them starts. And it's kind of like the world right now, the government, everything you look at, the more power you have, the more people want to take you down.
Yep.
And that was there was a tug of war in that situation, I'm sure. But at the end of the day, he was still the most generous.
Yep.
And he still played ball and he still showed up. And maybe he didn't show up twice and they turned that into a fucking
huge thing.
I mean, the drama on Sons of Anarchy was way fucking bigger than anything that was happening on
Really?
Sopranos. Yeah, but everyone's here to tell that story.
Yes.
You abused your fucking power telling that story about that man. And I'm close with his widow and his daughter. So I'm just like, this is the story that the people that made this show chose to tell about your father.
Yeah.
And that's a disgrace.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's my opinion. Fuck HBO. Fuck those people. They don't care about human beings. They care about money.
I appreciate you being honest and real because do you know how many people would be too scared to say that publicly on a microphone?
All I do is say things that I shouldn't say publicly on a microphone. That's my new that's the new role I'm playing.
And I love that. and I try my best to do that as well. You know?
Do it. I mean, my thing is more about injustice. Like if I see somebody's getting shit on or bullied or people are being lied to incessantly, I can't sit back and allow it to fucking happen. And I told Jim's widow that I would avenge for her because she doesn't have a voice in this game. So I said, I'll be your voice. And I am speaking for you, Deborah. I'm your pit bull.
Deborah, we got you. We got you right here, right now.
Girls across America, we got you.
I fucking love that shit. I really, really do. You need to write your own. You need to write an autobiography.
We're doing that right now.
Okay. You're already on top of your shit.
I can't act anymore. I have to do other things.
But also, it is kind of crazy, you know, for someone to write a entire book on who you are as a person after you've passed.
It's not even about me. It's about all the women that raised me. I was raised by a fucking bunch of women. So, and their stories are, and then my story is crazy. So I'm just like, all right, I'll do it. Everyone's like, write a book, write a book. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. I'll destroy people if I write a book. Everybody will hate me. And they're like, don't focus on any of the men. You don't have to. You have enough women in your life to talk about, and they're all dead.
That's the best part. Perfect. Great.
So I'm going to do it. And it's great. And all like the generational trauma and all this like, it's so crazy.
It is.
Yeah.
Were you raised by a single mom?
No. I was, my nanny. I was raised by my nanny.
Okay.
And my grandmother.
Got it.
And my mother. My mother was raised in 1950s Harlem. Okay. And she didn't want the same life her mom had. Her mom was beaten down by her Mafia husband, my grandfather.
Wow.
And my grandmother's mother was the only abortionist in 1950s Harlem. Mm-hmm. So she was like, you know, getting strong-armed by the Mafia all the time. They hated her because they were like, you're a murderer. And she's like, oh, wait a second. I'm the fucking murderer. But then they'd But then they'd come to her with women. And that's when they needed her. Like, holy shit, my Gumar is 7 months pregnant. And she's like, you want me to kill a 7-month-old baby? And she's like, fuck you. And then she'd hide those women and let them. She would hide a lot of women.
Wow.
To have their babies. Women that didn't want to go through with that, with a DNC or any of that stuff.
Right.
And they would place those babies all over America. So she had shit on everyone from Hollywood to Washington.
That is crazy.
Yes, it was. Her story's crazy. So then she didn't take care of her own daughter, who was my grandmother. So she was the one who got fucking beat up by the Mafia guy, my grandfather, who was the guy who brought heroin to the United States. Like, the stories
Your history
are crazy.
Is wild.
I know, it's crazy. So it'll be a book, and maybe you can play me when they get to the chapter about me, because we're publishing my mom's plays with it. My mom was a playwright. So instead of being like a Mafia housewife, she's like, I am never cooking, I'm never cleaning, and I'm not even going to raise my own children.
Which I see the empowering part of that and also the not great part of that.
It was not great. And then I had to set the record straight and be like, we can do it all.
Yeah.
You can raise your kids and you can have the career. And I was a single mom.
I love that.
So, and I did it all, but it wasn't fucking easy, man.
Yeah, I was raised by a single mom, and that shit is very, I don't know how my mom did it. I don't know how you did it, but kudos to you. It's like the hardest job in the world.
Yeah, it was. But I wouldn't change it for anything in the world, because the way the circumstances played out, sort of, it really is we had a very, or having a super unique experience.
You and your children.
Yeah, I mean, I would have preferred to be a big family and have like the father and the regular, like and I push that on everybody. Like, you too, I'm going to push it on you. Start a huge family. Tons of kids.
Tons of kids?
But have a big, happy, wild, loud, partying ass household.
Well, I need to get a boyfriend first.
I know.
So I need to start with that, and I need to also find a boyfriend who is a good guy.
I know.
Which those are,
And if you don't, because I have a lot of friends who didn't find any of that, I'm like, fuck it, just go have a baby.
That's what I will
just do. Just have the baby.
That's what I will do.
And be mom and dad and do the best you can do.
Yeah, but that's a tough job to be the mom and dad. But you know what? My mom and I are like this.
That's awesome.
She is my best friend in the whole world.
Do you have a relationship with your dad?
No.
So
my biological dad, no. My stepdad, who I refer to as my dad because he came into my life when I was 6, but he was kind of in and out.
Oh, okay.
We have a relationship-ish, but not major.
Yeah. It's rough. It's rough out there. It's fucking hard out there.
You know what? In a lot of ways, I think it benefited me, and I like to see the silver lining. I think
you have to.
I'm a lot stronger. I'm very independent, and there's some good that comes with the bad for sure.
Yeah.
You started an OnlyFans recently as well.
You don't have an OnlyFans account? You don't?
I don't.
Okay. I don't understand how any girls or actresses or anybody this day and age would put any of those pictures up in a bikini or sexy or see-through
and not
without
getting
fucking paid for that shit.
It's a really good point. I get asked all the time, why the fuck do you not have one?
Well, I think because there's like a stigma attached to being on OnlyFans. And it's not, for me, I am old, so I don't care about that. I know you want to make me feel better, but
I'm not trying to make you feel better.
Like
the way you're
old.
talking about yourself, you would think you're 99.
Well, I am. I'm going to be 53.
53 is
old.
So. It's really.
Listen,
not.
To me, that shit's old. To me, you're a little baby. You're my baby. Okay. I mean, not to put you down or anything. That's like
I want to be your
compliment.
baby. Are you kidding?
You my baby. But I think there's a stigma attached to it. And yes, if you are doing nothing else with your life and only OnlyFans is the only thing, it'd be great. It's like boys playing video games. It's like, don't just do this. Do something else too.
Well, there's this whole thing. It's similar to how we think escorting is wrong, but sugar daddies are okay.
Oh.
It's a similar, it's like if there is a very clear financial transaction, for some reason that makes it wrong, which I don't agree with. But it's how society views those kinds of things,
I think that we're living in I have several things to say about the OnlyFans thing. And I think, we're living in a really very strange time in society. I feel like we're in a different dimension. Mm-hmm. Normally, I would not be for OnlyFans, but I wouldn't ever judge anybody who was. Mm-hmm. I did it out of desperation, for real. It wasn't like, I just want to feel empowered. Like, I wasn't feeling empowered. I was losing everything. Let me roll that back. I was feeling empowered. I didn't do the vaccine. I'm like, fuck you. You're not going to tell me what to do with my body. And that goes for everything. If I'm pro-choice, I'm pro-choice. Don't fuck with me. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, and there's no two ways about it, which was a weird thing when all my, because I'm like a super liberal. So when all my liberal friends are like, excuse me, you're going to hurt other people not getting a vaccine. I'm like, what the fuck are you even talking about? I don't even leave my house. What do you care what I do? Mm-hmm. So that was like a whole thing to begin with. But the OnlyFans thing, I wouldn't have done it if I wasn't losing my house. And then my kids were like, Mom, you never post selfies. You never do any of that shit like the rest of these actresses in their bikinis all day long. Selfie, selfie, selfie. Just post some selfies and see what happens on there. And I was like, I'm going to go on there, but we're going to do our podcast because we were starting a podcast that had a lot of politics involved, so we didn't want to be censored. So we were just going to do it on OnlyFans. And then I put one picture up and I paid a really big chunk of money that I owed.
You broke
really
the internet
fast. No, okay, I didn't. I wasn't Bella Thorne. If I would have done it in the pandemic, I might have done really well in Cougar Town, but I didn't. And I did it late.
Well.
I did okay. I got myself out of trouble. A lot of people think that I'm living off of that now. It's not sustainable for me. Like it's not really sustainable. I maintain it. It takes care of certain things, but it's not. That's why we started Ultrafree. But as far as OnlyFans go, I do think that someone like you who's already thriving and doing, like anybody who's already out there doing their stuff, it shouldn't have that stigma. It should just be another way to make extra fucking money, because you'd probably make a ton of money if you have a huge following. But other girls that have no other recourse right now, I say fuck it, go do it. It's the freedom train.
Absolutely.
And if you're into porn, then do your fucking porn. Who's to say what? You know, some girls just want to like hang out and cook for people, which they do, or talk to men or whatever. The only thing that makes me sad about society right now is that people aren't getting out of the house, and men aren't leaving their computers sometimes. But then the other side of it is,
because they're watching porn.
No, there's just that everybody's become so comfortable
Just being online.
Yeah, because you have a connection to people.
Yeah.
And now AI is going to get ushered in.
Right.
And a lot of these men are not going to be speaking to real women.
Yeah.
And there's going to be more women who can't find dudes. And then it's like it's a fucking crazy spiral. So like part of it I love, and the other part of it I see where it's a decline. But again, we are in a place in society that is fucking changing so fast.
Rapidly. AI is just coming in. I mean, I have recently started doing this, and I don't know how I feel about it. Like talking to Chat GPT.
Oh yeah, I've been offered to make a full AI of me.
You know what? I was offered to do the same thing, and they were going to pay me like a pretty penny.
Yeah.
And the whole idea behind it was, you know, influencers, they need to be on camera. And sometimes they are going to have a zit or be sick or not want to be on camera and, you know, promoting a product. So our AI company, we're just going to make an AI version of you. You'll kind of be the face of the company. And this company will just kind of be the mediator between brands and influencers. And we'll create the AI. And they said, all we need to do is come to your apartment, have you say like one or two things in front of the camera, and then we'll be able to use that and have you say fucking anything.
Yeah.
And so you'll always be ready to go. Because it's a AI version of you.
They will stop you in time. You won't age.
Yep.
You can weigh 800 pounds.
Uh-huh.
I was offered to have all my photo shoots done via AI, and I said no to my photographer who I work with all the time. I was like, no. I was like, how much are you really touching up my pictures? She's like, not really that much. And I'm like, then I want to keep doing what I'm doing, because I feel good when I come out on a set with 20-year-olds and I'm fucking there with my fucking body out and I still fucking look good. I have to stay heavier to look good, which is weird. I don't really like being heavier in my real life, but for my photos, I have to stay heavier.
Why?
It's better to stay heavier and
in
have
the face.
big, for when you get older. And
well, no, that's
like
happening.
Fucking cheekbones.
No, that's happening. I swear to God, that's. Oh, you have gorgeous.
I can be like a skeleton.
I can too.
Yeah,
like
and no boobs, and I have big boobs when I'm heavy.
I don't.
If I get skinny like you, I will lose my boobs.
Yeah.
And right now I make money off these titties, girl. I'm making money off my motherfucking titties.
You know what? Amen. There was a headline. People magazine. Drea de Matteo reveals her 13-year-old son edits her OnlyFans photos for her. What do you have to say about that? Like what?
We were doing a podcast with the cast of The Sopranos.
Okay.
So they're my buddies, right? Okay. Robert Eiler, Jamie Lynn. Their show is Not Today, Pal. It's a funny show.
Okay.
And Robert's like, so what do you think of your mom doing OnlyFans? You know, we're shooting the shit, kids, the family. It's a family affair.
Yeah.
And he's like, he gives him a look. He's like, what? He's like, I edit some of them. And, you know, he's 13. I edit some of them. And I'm like, yeah, I never thought twice about it. When he said that, it was funny. I mean, there were other headlines where I was making fun of Blackjack for, you know, saying one thing or another thing. Because there was always little moments around, you know, are you okay with this? I bring them into it. If I didn't bring them into the decision-making process, it would never be a headline anywhere.
Yeah.
We're just so open about
As a family.
everything. Yeah. And it's not like I'm not doing anything. I'm not doing porn. I mean, everybody knows it's a fan page. It's an Adriana Cerva fucking fan page at the end of the day.
How does a 13-year-old know how to edit videos? Like what
kidding?
I want to know.
He can do your whole podcast for you.
That's insane to me.
But all these kids are technological geniuses at this point.
I know.
You know, so he only edited 3 pictures, really.
Yeah.
But they edit. My daughter edits my videos that go on Instagram sometimes. Yeah, it was like a nothing event. So,
but they turned it into like.
Are you kidding?
Thing.
My daughter's like, I read the comments, Mom. So Child Protective Services are coming for us, and I was like,
making a joke, right?
Well, every fucking psycho on the internet is saying that, and here you have your haters, and it usually is. I hate to say this, you know, because like I said, I'm a super liberal, but there is this culture of liberal women and men that are so filled with hatred that I don't understand what's happened to my people.
Yeah.
I'm like, you were my fucking allies, and now you guys are.
There's
like,
so much hate online.
Yeah,
People
and I'm like,
angry.
You're mad about me doing OnlyFans, but you're a liberal. The conservatives should be mad about me doing OnlyFans. They're not the ones fucking tearing me to pieces. It's the liberals. I'm like, what are you doing?
Yep.
You guys are all confused.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, so that's a non-issue.
A non-issue.
Non-issue.
We're going to jump into Ultrafree.
Okay.
Before we do, this has been a big week for PDiddy in the headlines. And I need to know, why are you laughing? Do you have like some intel? I mean, you guys must have crossed paths though.
I did a movie with him. Actually, my girlfriend last night, she goes, Dre, because I had TMZ attacked us outside of this other podcast last night.
Oh.
And they asked me. And I was like, I never made it to the white party. I was all in my white outfit. We were in the Hamptons when I was a kid. And something happened with my boyfriend. He hurt himself or something. He's like, you have to pull the car out. You have to drive right now. And I don't drive. And I like backed into a tombstone or something somewhere. I was like, why is there a fucking tombstone here?
What is
You know how the Hamptons, there's like all these little cemeteries everywhere. And I'm just like, okay. I was like, I feel crazy right now. Like I can't go to a party. Like I don't know what I just did. And we were arguing with a friend of ours in the car and everything. And I was like, we're not going to the party.
You just get out of the car, like do a Hail Mary over the grave.
Yes.
Get back in the whip, drive away.
I was mortified.
Yeah.
I was fucking, I didn't ruin it. I just moved it. I just moved it a little tiny bit, but it was still like I touched something with my car. And I didn't feel good about it. And I didn't want to go to the party after that. Something was like.
I think that makes sense.
Something symbolically, maybe it was something. Maybe it was like, because that was during our heavy partying era in our lives.
Like it. Yeah.
Maybe if we would have ended up at that party, it would have been a motherfucking freak off.
Yeah.
I don't know. But my girlfriend last night at dinner was like, Dre, you don't remember going to all of P. Diddy's parties? Puff Daddy. For us, was Puff Daddy. And I was like, I really fucking don't. I guess after the VMAs when I was there, not hosting, that was, oh my God, I'm so old. I don't know. I announced somebody at the MTV Awards, and then we all there was a big party there. We went to a lot of his parties. I didn't realize it. I forgot. I forgot when they asked me. I was like, no, I've never been to any. But last night, my girlfriend at dinner was like, dude, you've been to so many. God, you guys were always drinking all that tequila. You don't remember.
Right.
So yeah, I guess I was at those parties, but I never was. I'm always in the sidelines.
So you never like saw or witnessed anything crazy?
Nothing. But I've heard shit like that, but that was not on my radar.
Yeah.
At all. I would go to those
hear
parties.
stuff like back then?
Not really.
Yeah.
Not really. This is really like, holy shit,
like coming
man.
out recently.
Yeah. I mean, the word is, it was all about, let's do it now, right before the election. And this way we can blackmail everybody to endorse a certain someone.
Oh.
That's kind of the underground news that I'm hearing.
Interesting.
I don't look at the news that's on the TV in front of you. Anything that's in front of you.
Where do you get
is a lie.
your news?
deep underground.
Okay.
Rumble.
The dark web. Oh, Rumble.
No. Yeah, I love Rumble. You have to find the right people, but there's a lot of and a lot of the right people are actually people that have been condemned. But anybody who's condemned these days, you want to try to look into them a little bit and see what's really happening. There's something else going on with this PDiddy thing, in my opinion.
Okay. I think that's a great segue into Ultrafree, which is...
He will not be Ultrafree when they're done with him.
Boom, bang.
Oh,
zinger.
fuck.
He will not.
No.
I obviously checked out the clothing line and...
Just streetwear. It's just streetwear.
But I mean, some of these t-shirts and stuff like that are pretty, what would you say? How would you explain it?
Outspoken.
This
one's pretty basic. This is our anti-TV
What does that say? I can't see.
This says Ultrafree in the Soprano font.
Okay.
Yeah, this is
and and your jewelry line. Is that your jewelry line?
Yeah, we're just starting with the jewelry.
Okay.
It's new to us. Well, this is part of the protection collection.
Mm-hmm.
It's a gun. I know there's a lot of people out there that
Wouldn't like that.
Wouldn't like that now. That's new. People loved Guns N' Roses, Velvet Revolver, the Sex Pistols. People loved the Sopranos. There are guns in this logo of this shirt. I always wore a bullet hanging from my ear, and we're going to be coming out with those too. That you buy your hoop earring, and then you can buy any charm you want to hang off of it.
Put on it.
Yeah, because everyone's always like, "Where did you get your little?" I'm like, "I made it." But we do the guns. We do nameplates. Because I wore a nameplate on the Sopranos for a while. I did the ring, but when I got my role, I had my big real nameplate on that said Andrea.
Which is, again, part of that fashion icon.
Yeah, but the nameplates are all over the place. But ours, you can add little guns to the side of them. And the nameplate's more, know who you are. If you forget who you are, fucking look down and remember who the fuck you are.
And the guns are you saying...
It's protect yourself at all costs. Okay. Protect your heart. It's
big
symbolic.
On the NRA. Big.
Me?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not. I actually hate guns. And I hate gun. I don't mind gun culture.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a big part of American culture.
Yeah.
I think that while criminals have guns and while the government has guns, then you cannot take my guns or people that I know's guns. I mean, I know a lot of people that hunt, even though I'm a fucking animal freak. But some people will hunt and kill their one animal for the year and then never buy another piece of meat again.
Yeah.
And I think that there's valor to that. I think that's cool.
But you think that there should be some kind of constraints around?
Yes, I do. But right now, things are so chaotic. And I've been assaulted a lot in my life.
I'm sorry.
I've also been robbed repeatedly, burglarized. I've had people in my home while I'm in my home. I've had everything has happened to me at least once.
Mm-hmm.
I don't, and I was always anti-gun. I'm not now. I'm not. I think that, a lot of people are like, well, what about a school shooter? My daughter was going to school with a fucking bulletproof backpack because there were shooters. I think that there should be people protecting the schools. I believe that there should be a metal detector. The culture has changed.
Yeah.
The world has changed. The world's going to continue to change. And as it changes, we should fucking change with it. I think if you're protecting money with an armed guard, protect our children with an armed guard too. Don't try to be in this utopia where you think kids shouldn't have to see that. Well, kids shouldn't have to experience an actual shooter coming in who is mentally deranged.
Yeah.
And the only thing that's going to stop a school shooter is another gun. Not your talk, not your karate chop. It's going to be another fucking gun.
Right.
So that's where I stand on that. And it's about my children.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I would say making a way bigger emphasis on mental health and
That's a big issue right now.
Getting kids at a very young age.
I think if we can sort of zip up big pharma just slightly, maybe we could see a little change.
Big pharma. Just
zip it up a little bit.
Zip up big pharma.
Every commercial. Last night we watched TV for the first time. Every commercial was for a drug and then the fucking psychotic side effects.
I know. It's like you
Of
could
course everyone's
die.
insane.
Right. You could suffer from suicidal thoughts. You could die. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Big pharma is crazy. I do think obviously there are many instances where medication is great, but I think it has gotten to
Balance.
a crazy degree. I'm going
Balance.
to read some of the stuff on these t-shirts.
Okay.
Okay?
Sure, go ahead.
This one is gorgeous color, by the way. Are you afraid? Full of hate. Trust your government? ? Do lizard people control your emotions? ? Try Ultrafree.
I mean, they're humorous.
Okay,
That sounds that might sound a little serious.
Okay, so they're humorous.
That's
though.
goofy. Yeah.
Okay, so
that's the goofy one.
This one, thank you for remembering the intimate details of my locations and conversations, big tech. That one's not humorous. That one,
No, they're all humorous.
They
One of them
all are.
Yeah, they all are. I mean, right now, everything we're saying and doing is being picked up by that phone. Every naked picture of you, every video you have with a dude, that shit is somewhere where someone else is watching.
I mean, there hasn't been a time that I don't have a conversation with someone and then I open my phone and there's an ad for exactly.
But not even that. It's just your personal details are being put into a database.
Yeah.
And it can always be used against you. And that was the Patriot Act. So this whole thing is like a sort of a play on the Patriot Act. Someone fucking knows I'm talking shit about the fucking government.
Fuck out of me.
They're coming for me.
Holy shit. Yeah, what?
That's my sniper.
Drea, I hope your boyfriend is outside or something and is going to walk you out. I left him at home today. Okay, well, we'll walk you out.
What are those?
Drea, you are fascinating. You are an icon and continue to be one. And what a hell of a personality and a story. And thank you so much for coming on here.
Well, thank you for having me.
Do you have anything that you want to say? Anywhere they can find you? You want to plug your clothing?
It's ultrafree.co. All of this stuff used to be fun stuff. But I am shadow banned on Instagram.
Same.
All over the place. You are?
100%.
Wow. I mean, I'm like really banned, like heavy duty. So you have to type out my whole name at Drea de Matteo, and then Ultrafree has 2 A's on Instagram. And then now I'm moving over to Twitter because of how bad censorship is.
Right.
And that's why I'm on OnlyFans too.
Okay. And that's where they will find you. And you guys know where to find me, Sofia with an F, Franklyn with a Y. Again, we are at WTF Media Studios. This studio is the sexiest one I've been in. We're in Midtown. And Drea, we're gonna hang out. Thank you so much. Love you, sleuths. Bye-bye.